There are information reporting requirements to the IRS that apply for almost all churches and ministries. The 6 key issues to consider are the following. Number 1, understanding the general filing requirements. Information forms 1098 and 1099 must be provided to the payees or recipients on or before January 31st following the calendar year that the funds were paid or received. Copies of the form or electronic media must be filed with the IRS by January 31st following the year that the funds were paid or received. Number 2, obtaining correct identification numbers. It all starts with obtaining correct identification numbers. Employers required to file information returns with the IRS must obtain the correct Taxpayer Identification Number, TIN, to report the transactions. Form W-9, Request for Taxpayer ID Number and Certification, is used to furnish the correct TIN to the church. Number 3, reporting on receipt of funds. Use Form 1098, Mortgage Interest Statement, to report mortgage interest of $600 or more received by a church during the year from an individual, including a sole proprietor. A transmittal Form 1096 must accompany one or more Forms 1098. Number 4, reporting on payment of funds. Payments of interest. File Form 1099 INT, Interest Income, for each person to whom the church or ministry paid interest, reportable in Box 1, 3, and 8 of at least $10 in any calendar year. There's no requirement to file Form 1099 INT for payments made to a corporation or another tax-exempt organization. Payments to non-resident aliens. Payments for personal services made to non-citizens, also called non-resident aliens, who are temporarily in this country are often subject to withholding at a 30% rate. Some payments may be exempt from income tax withholding if the person is from a country with which the U.S. maintains a tax treaty. All payments to non-resident aliens, other than expense reimbursements and amounts reported on Form W-2, are reported on Forms 1042 and 1042S. Payments for non-compensatory services. A church must file Form 1099 NEC for each recipient, other than a corporation, to whom it has paid at least $600 in payments for services to non-employees and payments to an attorney. A church must file Form 1099 MISC to whom it has paid at least $10 in royalties, at least $600 in rents, prizes and awards, or other income. Benevolence payments to non-employees are not reportable on Form 1099 MISC or Form 1099 NEC. Payments to volunteers. Payments to or on behalf of volunteers that are not business expenses are reported on Form W-2 or Form 1099 NEC, depending on whether a common law employer-employee relationship exists. Number 6, racial non-discrimination. Churches that operate a private school must file Form 5578, the annual certification of racial non-discrimination for a private school exempt from federal income tax. The form must be filed by the 15th day of the 5th month following the end of the church's calendar or fiscal period. The private school definition includes preschools, primary, secondary, preparatory, and high schools, whether operated as a separate legal entity or an activity of the church. So yes, churches and ministries almost always must file some information forms. And we've discussed the 6 information forms that are probably highest on your list of potential filings.